can I call?
What department can I go to? Where do I go?
We need help.
What can I do?
Welcome to In Touch with Pinellas County. I'm your host, Jane Merlin. Today, we're in touch to learn about the Community Development Block Grant Program, also known as CDBG. The federal program celebrated its 40-year anniversary in 2014. Rose Ott, Program Manager with Pinellas County Health and Community Services Community Revitalization Division, is here to tell us more about CDBG and how the program has benefited Pinellas County. Welcome, Rose.
Hi, Jane. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here. And why don't we start by having you explain to us a little bit about what CDBG is and why it's so important for Pinellas County.
As you said, CDBG is a federal grant program, and it's administered by HUD, and it helps to build and develop strong communities and neighborhoods throughout the nation, but also right here in Pinellas County.
Well, you know, we mentioned earlier 40-year anniversary for the program. How long has it been available in Pinellas County, and do we receive those dollars every year?
We have been in the program for the 40 years since its inception, and we do get the grant money every year, and we've even received it this year. So we've been lucky enough to participate in it since its inception.
So who actually benefits from the program?
Jane, everybody in the community benefits from the program. CDBG dollars can be used for community centers, housing, public infrastructure, economic development. So anytime we have a chance to improve those features, then it improves everybody's quality of life.
Well, I know that you brought some photographs to share with us about some of the examples of projects that you've been involved with in the past. And so let's get right into it and talk about some of the great projects that have been developed as a result.
Sounds good, Jane. One of the benefits of CDBG is, since we do get it every year, we can do some phasing of yearly projects. And Joe's Creek is a project that started 5 or 6 years ago, and the last bit of the project was installing a 180-foot pedestrian steel truss bridge across Joe's Creek so that we could connect the north side to the south side, and people could utilize the bridge to get from side to side. And we were also able to put in some pedestrian pathways and walkways so that people could navigate the park from beginning to end. And again, it's been a multi-phase project, and now it's been completed, and it's turned out to be just a great nature environment out there.
And also important for the recreational aspect. People can walk and jog across it and get some great health benefits. And what amazes me too is the fact that here we are in this really urban community, and you go out there and it's like a little slice of paradise, isn't it, with all the nature and birds?
It is. You never know that you were right smack dab in the middle of Pinellas County when you're out there. So it is truly, if you haven't been there, it's definitely a good place to go visit. Another project that I've had the honor of being part of up in Safety Harbor is a nonprofit called U-Park, and they have a studio called Harborside Studio, and U-Park's clients can go there and make art. So they create their own art, and then they can turn around and sell it to the public, and it helps sustain their livelihood. So their building that they were currently in was run down and dilapidated, and the windows were leaking. Their electrical panel had disintegrated, so they weren't able to use part of the kiln studio. So they had some funding, but they didn't have enough funding to complete the project. So I was able to use CDBG dollars to go in there and totally renovate the building, give them a new roof, new windows, new electrical panel. They could utilize bigger kilns now to make more art. And really, it was just about expanding the services now for their clients so that they could create more art, display it, and then turn around and sell it. And again, it helps those people earn a living wage.
And I must tell you that I'm actually very familiar with U-Park and Harborside Studios. I've got quite a number of artwork from the folks in both my home and office, and it's a great opportunity to really help those who have developmental disabilities be able to create some beautiful artwork. And as you said, it helps give them some funding as well.
Exactly. Another project right not too far away from there, just north of the Safety Harbor Spa, was a vacant, overgrown 2.5-acre parcel of land that just sat for years, and the city of Safety Harbor had wanted to develop it into a community park. Again, they didn't quite have all the resources to go to construction, and I was able to partner with them and use some CDBG dollars to actually construct now a beautiful park, and it's really a learning park where people now can go and see beautiful landscaping. They can see art, unique pieces of art. We have picnic benches, we have water fountains, we have all types of activities where children can gather and play, and it's truly a community gathering spot now. But one of the most unique features is that the landscaping and all the gardening was done by their local chapter of the Safety Harbor Garden Club, and all of the art was done by local artists. So again, it's a great project when you have community participation, you have city participation, and then the county was able to use CDBG dollars to get the park fully constructed, and now it's a great place for people to go and enjoy the outdoors.
And literally a community park. I mean, from the gardeners to the artists, they literally got their hands involved in it.
Absolutely.
And made it happen. And the neighbors must love that, being able to have access to such a beautiful space so close by.
Yeah, and you can walk to it and just really enjoy being right in the heart of downtown. Another one of our projects that we were able to just complete recently, in July, we had a grand opening for RCS, Religious Community Services, has an outreach center they call the Haven, and it's an outreach system, center for domestic violence people that are involved in that, and it's an information center. But again, their building was old. It was built in the 1920s. It had some structural problems. It had some water problems, and we were able to partner with the City of Clearwater, the City of Largo, and private donations. RCS was able to do some private fundraising, and then we were able to use the CDBG dollars to totally renovate that structure. So we tore down the old building, but we kept some of the old oak trees and some of the stone, some of the original stone. So we actually built the footprint around the old existing stone and trees, but built a brand new building. Again, a nice, bigger building, more energy efficient. It's bigger in the fact that it can expand services and it can help more victims of domestic violence.
And unfortunately, we're hearing a lot more in the news of late about women, children who are still victims of domestic violence, and this is a program that can help people get, like you said, the resources that they need to hopefully get them out of those abusive situations.
Yes, absolutely. And it was a project that, again, it was a multi-year project. And, restructuring and renovating buildings is very expensive. So we were able to kind of come in with the last bit of money to get that fully done. And now it's operating, and it's a gym that sits up there now in North Clearwater.
Well, those are some excellent examples of existing projects and things that have already been completed. And I wonder now if you can kind of give us a sneak peek into maybe a future project that's in the works.
Actually, I do. Before I jump to one of my future ones, we did a project in Oldsmar, the city of Oldsmar streetscape. And we completed that one last year. And what was unique about that, and I'm seeing the trend of projects with the cities in the future, is that we were able to dig up the old roadway. It was a project that runs through their downtown, St. Petersburg Drive, and we wanted to make it a pedestrian safe corridor, and we wanted to make it efficient for electric car charging vehicles. So we redid the road. We put in brick pavers to help with stormwater runoff, to keep to protect the bay from runoff. So we have beautiful brick pavers there. We were able to put in ADA compliant disabled parking. We were able to install electric car station vehicle spots along that corridor. Again, those are things that are beginning to go into the future of other projects that I do. So that kind of laid the footprint for future projects. But another project that we're getting ready to start in November, in Pinellas Park is for a nonprofit called Girls Inc. And again, they're located in Pinellas Park. They have a 22-year-old building that we're getting ready to renovate. Again, they didn't really have the funds to do a renovation as extensive of what we wanted to do, so we were able to use CDBG money. And now we're going to take that building and we're going to incorporate a STEM lab for the girls. And STEM is for science, technology, engineering, and math, and it'll be a program that they can learn about those disciplines. And another aspect of their teaching environment is healthy eating. And so we're going to be able to redo their entire kitchen to add new commercial grade equipment and cabinet storage and counter space, so they can actually take from ground to table food and prepare it and learn healthy habits and healthy cooking, and especially at that age when that's most appropriate. So we're going to give them a better kitchen. We're going to enhance their library. We're going to add on a design component and build an art studio as well there. And again, it's going to be a great project, and I'm anxious to start it.
That sounds like a really well-rounded program for the girls that participate, everything from the STEM, which is so important. Yes. Because we definitely need those disciplines to help with the future of our country and our area. But I also really like the concept of what you said, that from ground to table as it relates to food and good nutrition, learning that our food doesn't just appear in a grocery store.
You're
Something
right.
happens to it before it gets there, right?
Right, and there are things that you can do along that preparation way to make it very healthy. And so we're excited to get started on that.
Yeah, well, those are some wonderful projects, and I can't wait to maybe have you come back and talk more about the Girls Inc. project once that's completed.
I would love to.
You know, so you've got all these great programs, and I know that it's all made possible because of the funding. So how does that process work? I mean, you've got this pot of money, so how do the funds get distributed to the community?
The funds come to us from HUD, and then what we do is, and we're getting ready to in January, we initiate an application process. So in January, we will hold a public participation meeting for governments and nonprofits to come, get their questions answered, fill out an application, and then the application comes to us, and then we grade them and score them, and then they rank, and then we'll, out of those applications, we'll pick projects that, yes, we can do, and then sadly enough, there are some that we can't do. We actually end up getting more applications than we possibly have the money for. But again, it's a selection criteria process that is done by a ranking and a score system, and then we get our projects, and then some we can put on the back burner. If more funds become available, we can do those. So we have ones that we know we can do, and then some that are alternates that, you know, hopefully we get to do. So it is done through an application process, and that will be getting underway probably in February.
And so, as you mentioned, you end up with a lot more applications than you have funding for. But on occasion, do you find that some projects may not be able to happen for one or another reason, and that's when the alternate comes in?
Absolutely. That's why we look at every application, and we always, you know, we're looking for, you know, good applications. And again, CDBG can be used for, you know, things that we can do for infrastructure, job creation, community centers, you know, enhancing public facilities. So those are the projects that, you know, we really are looking at that, again, enhance our communities and our quality of life.
You know, as you were describing the projects that have been developed, you mentioned different cities that were involved and different funding sources that came together. So it almost seems like these funds are helping to leverage other dollars within our community to make these programs happen.
You're absolutely right. CDBG remains such a crucial funding source because these renovations and public projects and infrastructure, they're very costly. And a lot of nonprofits, they just don't have enough money to be able to do that, you know, to do these type of projects. And again, infrastructure projects in the cities are very costly. So again, we can leverage those CDBG dollars to help those projects come about. Without that funding, Jane, some of these projects would not get done, and the buildings wouldn't be built, and or it would take years and years and years. So that CDBG funding part is very crucial to sometimes be that last bit of money that they need to get a project going. So it is very beneficial.
Well, and that's another question I have for you, and that is, what would happen to our community, other communities, if these dollars were not available? I mean, what would communities look like without this kind of funding being available? What
they would look like is a lot of the nonprofits. There's still an economic hardship that is going on with the our nonprofits and stuff, and without these dollars, again, they won't be able to serve as many people. So you're going to have more people waiting for services. You're going to have more projects, more community centers wouldn't be built, roadways wouldn't have the improvements that we have now. So when you take away those dollars, again, those projects would affect people's quality of life. So a lot of those projects and services would not be going on in the community right now.
And I'm really struck by the diversity of the projects that you're able to produce.
Well, we try, again, we're trying to fit those needs, and a lot, service needs, public facilities that need renovations, infrastructure needs that, help people, pedestrians and vehicle travel. So, the CDBG projects really try and touch on infrastructure, job creation, economic development, community participation, things like that. So they're very, very important.
Rose, is there anything else that we should know about the Community Development Block Grant Program?
Well, we have a website, so if you are interested in learning more about it, I do encourage you to go to the website. There's a lot of information there. The phone number's there. Again, January starts our community participation meeting where, we do listen to see what the citizens are looking for. February starts our application process. You can get all that information there. It's a great place to start. So, and I'd like to acknowledge now HUD being the sponsor of this program and allowing us to to have these dollars, and the Board of County Commissioners for participating in the program and allowing us to be able to go out into the community and build these great buildings and roads and do the great things that we do.
Well, Rose, thank you very much for telling us all about the Community Development Block Grant Program, and I wish you much continued success in future years. And I know that I know we're just going to have you come back and talk about the Girls Think project, because that sounds really, really great.
We have some really good upcoming projects.
Fantastic. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you,
and that's going to do it for us today. Thank you again, Rose, for providing information about the Community Development Block Grant Program. Additional information is available at the county's website at pinellascounty.org/community, or you can call 727-464-8210. That's all for this edition. I'm Jane Merlin, hoping you stay in touch with us. Thanks for tuning in today. See you next time.